Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to the Persistence Payoff Show. We're here on USA Global TV and Radio. I'm your host, Kimberly Schafer. Here we believe that every dream starts with a spark, and persistence is what turns that spark into reality and success. I'm on my own journey with persistence. I'm a first-time entrepreneur and inventor. I invented the ring thing, which is a waterproof patented ring holder that I created, and I will say that persistence is a part of my journey every day. I am delighted to have our guest today, Robert J. Moore. He has an amazing story of how his spark turned into success. He has built an amazing platform. He is an award-winning business coach. In fact, last year, he received the Legends of Coaching Award from Forbes Business Awards. He's been featured in Forbes, featured in USA Today. He's a motivational speaker, and he's shared the stage with Les Brown and Jack Canfield and many more. He's an author and entrepreneur and so many other things, and I can't wait to hear about his journey. He started, he had to go through a few challenges to get to where he is. He dealt with homelessness, addiction, incarceration, pushed through all of those things to build the platform that he has. And I'm looking forward to learning from his journey. So please welcome Robert J. Moore.
Beautiful introduction.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to talk with you.
Well, you know what? Now that you're nice and warm out there, and we're kind of chilly out in Canada.
Yes, it's true. It's one of those things. I live in San Diego, and even when it rains here, I never can complain about the weather. There's just no sympathy.
I don't complain either. I mean, when it's 3 feet of snow out, I still don't complain. I'm still in shorts and a sweater or something and shoveling the snow. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's a good workout.
Well, that's true. That is absolutely true. And, you know, it's so impressive to learn about what you have built and where you are and all that you've accomplished. But before we touch on those things and really go into them, I would love to hear from you about your journey to get to where you are. And can you just take us back and talk about your path and how did your addiction start, and homelessness, and how did you push through those?
Well, when you start off, I'm going to go back to when I was 2 years old. My parents separated. And when they separated, what happened was my dad remarried his high school sweetheart. That was pretty cool. But she was a bit of had a mean streak to her. She definitely had a mean streak. And I got the plunge of it all the time. Every time I got grounded or something or whipped or something, if something went wrong, it would always be Robert's fault. So I just kind of learned how to suck it up. And at the age 13, my dad had a lot of people over. He used to hang around I would say a rough crowd, but they were always quite nice around me, and I never seen them fight or anything else. They were just known to be rough. So I was bringing up around the beer, but before I brought up around the beer, it was, like I said, 13 years old, and it was a stubby. The stubby's OV, and I guzzled one down like something fierce. Mm-hmm. And when I did that, it was like the big belch come out, and I felt something come over me. It was like invincible or something. Like I could just say or do whatever I want. I don't know. It gave me courage or something. So I called it liquid courage, right? And wobbly pop. And so I went upstairs, gave everybody their drink. Next thing you know, my dad sent me down for another round, and I did the same thing over. I started liking the feeling, but I started falling going up the stairs, and my dad realized I was drinking the wobbly pops. And he says, you know, you can't be drinking this. You're 13 years old. He says, this is not fair. And my dad was pretty strict. He was pretty strict, and I mean, I was one of his favorites, but he wouldn't tolerate any BS from me. So basically, when I was 15 years old, I didn't want to live by the rules because I was always getting in trouble, and my stepmom was very vicious, I found. I decided to run away at 15. But before I ran away, here's the reason why I ran away, is because I didn't want to get the world of a whooping. I was at school, and it was high school, and my brother was getting beat up by the football player. So I said to my other brother, Jason, I said, listen, let's teach this guy a lesson. He says, okay, what are we going to do? I said, you just send him my way. Send him my way. I said, we'll deal with it. So I had the big garbage pails. I had the lid open to it. I ended up throwing the guy in there when he tripped him. I threw him in there and sat on top of it. And he got kicked out of school for life, not allowed on property for life. And then that's one of the biggest things I ran away from school for. I never went back, obviously. My parents, when they dropped me off to see my biological mom in a different part, it was like 3 hours away or something where we were living. I never went back. I ran away because I didn't want to face the music when I went back, because they never sent the letter home. They sent me home with the letter. They said, here, take this to your parents. I wasn't giving it to my parents. Being nuts. You know what I mean? So I ended up living on the street when I was 15, learning how to live on the street. It was a trip. I ended up meeting up with some people to fill the void, and these people were pretty rough. They were rough. I had to do some pretty interesting things, kick indoors, collect the money for the certain people, do what I had to do to keep surviving. And that led to basically 17 years in and out of prison. And then, I decided, well, this is quite the life. So I ended up living on the streets for 7 years altogether. And when I lived on the streets, I actually kept pretty warm, because for a drug addict alcoholic, what I would do is I just put the snow over top of me, and I'd keep nice and warm. It would keep the warm inside. And plus, I'd break into apartment buildings, and I'd actually steal the clothes that were actually getting in the dryer. I didn't care if they fit. I stretched them to fit just to get the warmth.
Wow. It's interesting because when we talk about persistence, it's often in a positive way, right? Like,
yeah,
we got to persist in our dream. We want to start a business. We got to persist in that. It also can show up in other ways. And not that it's bad. It's just a different form of persistence that you had to learn how to survive out on the streets. You had to learn how to manage in these situations. And that's another form of persistence. It's just, it's a different angle of it, I guess I would say.
Well, it's definitely, I mean, the thing is, when I was 18 years old, I just getting back out of jail. I had a child, and I wasn't there for my child being born because I was in jail. But I ended up getting the common law wife pregnant at that time. Again, when I was 20, I got released from another jail, and I went to when she was giving birth. But the problem is, my son's alive. He's doing well right now, but my wife died.
Oh, sorry.
Right? With common law wife. She ended up dying in my hands.
Oh.
And I was only 20 years old. I didn't know how to react. So my aunt was a registered nurse in a daycare. Someone does daycare. So she ended up taking custody of my son and raising him. And he wanted to, as time goes on, if anybody ever sees the documentary of mine, which is called Reinventing Freedom, a true story of Robert J. Moore, it's on YouTube, and you can't miss it. It's right on my channel, Next Level Coaching. If you see it, you'll see my son in there, how much he worshiped the fact that I was a gangster. Mm-hmm. And, I don't look at it like, it's nothing to be proud of, but I mean, I had to do what I had to do to survive. And so he wanted to be a gangster. So I said to him, I said, look, let's go in the backyard and let's see the first person in that backyard. He's the gangster. He said, you're going to beat the living daylights of your own son. I said, look, I'll do whatever it takes for you not to go down that road. Yes. And so it wasn't a couple of weeks later, he asked my aunt for a life change of clothing, and he ended up being a cop. Now his dream is to just pull me over one day.
Oh, I love that.
My daughter, my oldest daughter, I've only met once. She doesn't think too kindly of me.
Yeah.
Well, but I have 3 other kids too.
Wow. That is something I'm curious to know, like during that time, even at the point where you were kicked out of school, did you feel hopeless in the long run, or did you always have a feeling inside yourself like, I'm going to get through this and on to the other side?
If you want to feel basically the way I felt, go to a mall in a different town, like wherever you are right now. Go to a different town, two over. Sit in there at the food court. Just look around. Don't say nothing. And nobody will see you. Nobody will talk to you. That's exactly how I felt. Really empty.
Wow.
No friends. Nobody want to talk to me. You know what I mean? Like you're looking around, seeing how the world revolves around you, but nobody's talking to you. It's like, almost like you're a ghost sitting there. That's exactly how I felt. But I mean, I'm telling you, the emotions I had, I was one angry person. My dad had a nice Harley and everything else, and he rode with some serious people that I connected with later on. But my dad never wore a patch. I never wore a patch either. I was only working for individuals in the group. You know what I mean? And it was mafia and it was bikers. You know, like it was pretty serious stuff.
Yes.
But here's the thing. I mean, you have to choose in your life what road you go down. I mean, even listen, I'm going to be honest with you, man. Even when I put on Success, I sold a business. I was right at the top. I was on stage with E.T., Jack Canfield, Les Brown. Les Brown's daughter I coached for 4 years, you know, and a bunch of other people that were high end. I've been on stages with all the people from the movie The Secret, all the people from Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Satish Verma is a good friend of mine. He just certified me. And you know what? Here's the thing. Even going through that, I made a bad business investment and I ended up bankrupt. Seriously, I ended up bankrupt. But I climbed out of it. The way I see it, if you know how to build properly and stop using the money as a go-to thing and start using your passion, you will grow faster than you are looking at the money. Yeah, your bills will pile up, but guess what? Once you have that passion out there and show people a solution to your problem, they're going to realize, hey, this person can help me. Now, all of a sudden, the money is going to come in. You don't focus on the money.
Yeah, that is great advice. That is such good advice. And it's not always easy to do that, you know, especially as new entrepreneurs, as you get so caught up in the money part of things. But I think it's so wise. And I'm curious to know, you talked about a sort of a turning point in the road. Was there a specific moment that changed things for you, that took you down a different road?
Honestly, I just had enough. I was skidding across the bottom for a lot of years. At age 32 years old, I decided to get clean and sober. I've been clean and sober over 20 years now.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it was easy. I mean, easy now, but I mean, because I don't, the old cliche is if you go to a bar, what's the primary purpose of you going to a bar? Obviously to drink. You go to a barber's chair, you're going to get a haircut. You know what I mean? You're not going to sit there and have a good conversation without getting something wrapped around you and get a haircut. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. If you want to be influenced by the people around you, look who you're hanging with. Look who you're dealing with. I know people right now that sit in front of the TV and they play Nintendo games. Well, is that your future? Look around you. Those are your future. Change it. Make the change. You know, I decided 2 years ago to get certified in AI. And that's been a life changer too, because it's really enhanced my business.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I would love to hear about you made a documentary about your life, and you have your book Resilience about your life. And I
got over 500 books.
Oh my gosh.
Because here's the thing, Magnetic Entrepreneur really started my journey.
Yes.
Here's the thing, when I got clean and sober, I went and got education. So now these are people 15, 20 years junior to my age. Mm-hmm. So I went and got my grade 12. It was embarrassing as hell to get that because all these people are so young and they're talking about booze, drugs, and I'm 3 months clean and sober and I really want to go drink. But then I had to realize what's more important, my future or death? Because that's where it was. I mean, 1 foot in the grave, I had 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot out at the time when I was drinking. I didn't want to pay rent. I didn't want a lousy sandwich to ruin my drunk. I just wanted to keep drunk, to keep away all that stuff inside me. So the biggest problem is facing the emotions inside me, all the things inside me I deal with. So anytime I talk to anybody, I'm going to be straight up here. Anytime I talk to someone or anytime I deal with them as a business wise or help them in any which way, I don't care about their emotions. I'm going to tell them straight goods. This is the way it's got to be done. This is the way I see it. And the reason why I do it that way is because I care about their business more than I care about their emotions. Those people that sit there and get hurt, we could deal with that later. You know what I mean? Like I've had many, many, many times I've argued with some of my students, but I'll be honest with you, they always come back around. We always sort things out.
Yeah. Well, they in fact, I was just talking with someone about this the other day, that there's a difference between being nice and being kind. And nice is, oh, you don't want to rock the boat. Kind sometimes requires straight talk, just like what you're saying, being honest and direct. That can be the
kind like empathy and sympathy. There's a difference between empathy and sympathy. You can have empathy all you want, but what you're doing is you're taking away their emotions from them. So now they can go relive that again without feeling it because you're taking it away from them. Right? The sympathy is straightforward. You rely to the fact of, okay, I understand you're going through it, but I'm not going to pat you on the back, say it's okay. I'm going to let you live that emotion and let you climb out of it with the help and guidance.
That's so powerful. I totally agree with you on that. And
I had to be stripped. Of my emotions. I was so angry. In and out of jail all the time. I was a fighter. It's weird because now I'm in martial arts. And I used to protect women, and my sensei, she's at the dojo, she sits there and she says, Robert, you got to hit. I said, I'm not used to throwing punches towards women. I don't like this. And she goes, you're not going to hurt me. Like she's got a black belt, right? She goes, you're not going to hurt me, Robert. Don't worry about it. She goes, I've been through worse. Don't worry about it. It's okay. And I said, well, it's the difference from the street fighting to martial arts, maintaining what you actually got to do. You got to actually put a stance in there, and it's a lot more stability and a lot more cleaner. It's powerful, man. It's powerful to change over. So I'm always doing something to better myself so I can help others.
Yes, that is so powerful. And also that requires a lot of discipline. Martial arts is a very disciplined practice. With any of the arts that you choose to go into takes discipline. And that's also what you're saying about your own recovery. I'm sure that your sobriety takes a lot of discipline as well.
I decided to go to AA, NA, and doing a lot of their practical stuff that I did. Now, I went there for years, and you'll hear in the rooms, oh, if you don't keep coming to AA or if you don't keep coming to the rooms, you're going to stay sick. Well, that's only if you're not doing the work. Now, another thing is people sit there and say, don't mention AA, it's anonymous. Well, the only reason why they wanted to keep anonymous is because of the fact of the people that go there and say, a lot of the people back in the day went because of the courts. And they just go in and get it signed and say, oh, that didn't work. Look at me, I'm drinking again. Well, now you're putting a bad rep on AA because you didn't want to do the work. Well, it's not AA's fault that you sat there and drank and you had to go there from the courts, that you didn't want to be there in the first place. Well, at that point in time, I wanted to be there. And they put me in a recovery house. It was supposed to be there like 2 months. I was there like 4.5 months because of how angry and inconsiderate, I'll say, either way you put it, inconsiderate how I was. And I had to grow out of that. So I didn't know how to deal with society without drinking until I learned.
Yeah. Well, you were out on your own at a very young age. I think you didn't have the benefit of great role models all the way up until you were 18 and, headed off after that. So it's remarkable that you were able to get through that and not just survive, but to thrive. And so how did you go from being that angry young man to coaching other people? You have a very successful coaching program. And how did that come to be?
Well, here's the thing. I was actually, so when I got my education, I mean, I got, like I said, I got the grade 12, but then I went and got my social service worker diploma, my addictions degree, my BA in psychology, my master's in counseling psychology, harm reduction, mental health crisis, 2 unredacted degrees. I didn't get that to put on the wall. As you see, they're not on the wall. You'll see my Forbes on the wall. You'll see my Guinness World Record. You'll see my documentary and my martial arts stuff, but you won't see that other stuff on the wall because I didn't do it to impress anybody. I did it to find out why I was being the person I was. So all the assignments, all the theories and everything I did in there, were all related to something I had to go through to find out why I was being the person I was. And nobody really knew it in the class but the teacher. So when I went through that, I started opening drug and alcohol counseling. I did that for 12 years, and I was a therapist for 15. And I learned how to do the grieving process, which I had to learn quick because my brother Tom died 2001, my brother Kevin died 2021, and my brother Reagan died 2015, all drugs and alcohol.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
But I mean, to grow, at the time, I owned Magnetic Entrepreneur, which is all over the internet. So Magnetic Entrepreneur was a publishing company and a coaching company. So I coach a lot of people. I've coached some high-end people, some people that were basically living on the streets all the way up to 6 figures, 7 figures. And then I just switched it over one day to next level coaching because I was at the top. Here's the thing. I was at the top. I felt lonely. And I know what that feels like now because all these people kept saying, Robert, you're going to feel lonely if you don't bring people with you. And so I felt lonely. So I sold that company and let it go and started next level coaching. And I started building myself up. And that's when I started learning, okay, bring people with you, bring the passion. Now look for people. I'm looking for 5 people right now to be my next success story of the year. But one thing you don't know is I do so much behind the scenes that you'll never know, that'll empower you, to help you, that'll get you there, that I'll never take the credit for, because I don't need the credit for that. I need you to have the credit. I just need you to get out there, do your thing, and that'll reflect on me alone.
Wow. I'm actually getting a little teary hearing you say this because that's such pure giving. It's just, you're purely giving and you're not doing it with a hook to try to get something. You're just purely giving to help other people. So
I got, even my latest release, my latest release, the Next Level AI team, it's got 8 AI agents in it that help you no matter what level you're at. Dr. Kerback there, she actually, the founder of this, she actually bought a copy and it's guaranteed for life. It's a lifetime deal for $67. You can't go wrong. And I'm never going to raise it up. Anything I ever put into it next gets raised up, and it's all involved in that. So I'm always doing something with AI now and involving people. I don't need a team of 20 people no more. I have agents that'll do the job for me, like refunds, everything. You name it, marketing, refunds, SEO. I mean, it is powerful. I just built one. It's called the Next Level AI Browser. That one's coming out soon too. Now, what it is to help people with Alzheimer's at the same time is help those, just like Google, just exactly like Google, but there's no tracking you.
Interesting.
I don't know how they're going to like that.
Yes.
But I was more interested because I was a counselor in that for so long. Plus, I've owned that last business I owned that went belly flop on me because just CRA was just right on my butt, was deal with the elderly, right? So it was a home care service. So I bought into that and I owned it for 6 months. I was making like $65,000 a month. But at the same time, somebody didn't pay taxes and I got nailed.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Oh. And that put me in a big jam.
Yeah. That's a tough part about having other people on the journey with you. If you're
No, I was alone. I was alone. I bought it off someone else.
Oh,
the lawyer actually said everything was fine. They backtracked. Everything was good. Somehow or another, they missed something. Because CRA, it got me. It was almost $500,000.
Oh, gosh. Oh, that's a big blow.
The way I see it, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can take all the money away from me in the world. There's one thing you can't take is my dignity. It's just like school. All these people that go through school and they don't realize one thing. You can get the knowledge. You can't take that away from me, the knowledge. You can go after me for the money all you want. I mean, back in the day it was $150,000 I owed. $150,000 I owed just on school. Student loans.
Wow.
Now they only let you go to like 70 or 80, I think. But it's only down to like $5,000 now. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and so often we look back at our lives and say, the things that we went through shaped us now. And when you look back at everything you had to go through, because those are some very hard times, do you feel that spark within you what you were just talking about. Like you have this faith in yourself that you can get through anything, that you can figure it out. Do you think that you had that also as a young man, or is that something that's
No, when I was
developed
younger,
over
I'll be
time?
honest with you. To be honest with you, everything I did when I was younger until I got clean and sober was just survival.
Okay.
No matter what it was. It don't matter if it was with the woman I was with, don't matter if it was who or whatever, don't matter what it was. Jail, anything. It was just survival, just learning the ropes to get to the next level.
Yeah.
You know, now in business and that, I utilize all my skills, and I can actually read someone through the physiology of the face expressions, the body language, the tone, even in reading them. If they send me an email, I could read their tone through that. One of the biggest things that people fail in is not believing in themselves. You know, that's the worst thing to do, is criticize yourself, believe you can't get to the next level. Well, guess what? I said to myself, I can never be $100,000 in debt. I made it there, made twice. I almost $500,000 in debt at one time, but I got out of it. And it's not just the fact that people say hustle, grind, and grow. You can't do it that way. You actually got to believe in the situation you're doing. The only way you're going to hustle is if you believe in yourself. You believe in yourself. You put that passion out there. Be the first person up in the morning. Put that message out there for free. Stop trying to add people to your Facebook or your LinkedIn page and sit there and say, oh, I got the special offer. Well, who are you? Who are you first? Let's get to know you first, and maybe I'll buy something. I don't want to buy something if you're going to sit there and threaten down my throat. Hey, you can have this, you can have that. Well, good, take it, shove it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, and social media has had such a change in how we do business and present ourselves. I totally agree. And I'm learning that myself, learning to put myself out there a little bit more. And I'm curious to know, I heard a talk by two Navy SEALs. It was a father and son, and they had both been Navy SEALs. And someone in the audience asked them, when you are working with trainees, how do you know, or do you know who's going to make it through? Because so few of them actually make it through the training. And the father said, yes, but it's just the look in their eye. It doesn't have to do with their physical presence. It doesn't have to do with their strength. It's a look in their eye. And that has always stuck with me. And I'm curious to know, for you, as you've coached so many people, is there something that you've recognized? Like, okay, here's that thing they have that tells me that they're going to make it through. And if you have, what is that?
Here's the thing. When you're working with someone, you can always look at their body language. You can always talk the way they're talking. You can always look at them. Hypothetically, I go to an event and I'm speaking, right? So now you got people that want to come up to you, and because you're in the heat, right? I call it the heat. Otherwise, you're the one that's being speaking, and you're the one everybody's going to be looking at. So they want to come over and introduce themselves to you, and they want to talk differently to you than they do other people. So I'll watch these people. I'm a watcher. When I go in the room like that, 200-300 people, I'll watch to see who's doing what, when, and where. I won't have a skit thing down along the right, talk about this, talk about that. No, I watch the crowd, and I'll sit there and watch that person go from me, how they talk to me, and they'll go over to their friends. Now they'll talk to their friends a whole different way. So now I'll know, okay, listen, I'm listening to what they're saying. I know where their flaws are. Now I know how to put that in my story in order to help that person.
Wow.
So, but the thing is, if you want to know who's going to fail or not, that's not for me to decide. Yeah. I can see who's going to make it, but I won't give up on them unless they want me to.
Yeah. Wow. That's very, very powerful. And I'm curious. So you're really, like, your book that's coming out about AI, and your models that you're working on. How do you blend it's artificial intelligence? How do you blend that artificiality of it with your work as a therapist and a counselor and the human side of things?
Well, I don't do the counseling or coaching. I'm more on the therapy side. I let that go years ago due to the fact of I found it too heartwarming, right? So, I mean, I still utilize that in what I do in business and coaching. But the new book that's actually physically coming out, I'm just waiting for a couple agents to talk to me. I've already put the proposal out to them and a few publishers. I've already been a publisher, and I know I could get it out there. Number one, I want to go haywire with this one. This one was, believe it or not, I wrote it in 3 hours or 4 hours.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, I just wrote it like crazy. And it's called, AI 5 years ahead. Everything I do is always 5 years ahead. So basically what it is how entrepreneurs build the future before everyone else wakes up. And that's powerful right there. So it's Robert J. Moore, featured in Forbes, featured in Guinness World Records. And, I've done some, I can always say, yeah, number one author. Well, I don't need to say that. If they Google me, they're going to know what I'm about. I'm very much all over the internet because of the stuff I've done. I've helped, it's going on 550,000 people.
Wow.
But I've done a lot of big groups. I've spoken on stages. The most I've ever spoke on was like 2.1 million people on the internet.
Wow. Wow.
There's a big crowd.
That's a big yes. Yes. Do you get nervous in those situations? Were you nervous?
It's funny because when I get up on stage, right on stage, I got nervous for about 30 seconds. And then I remember it's not about me. It's not about me. The message is not for me. It's not about me. I don't even know what I say half the time. I just come out and say it. And I have so many people. I went to the one time here, check this out. I was at an event. Les Brown was up. And right out of the blue, I was asked if I wanted to speak for 5 minutes. I said, sure, I'll go up speak. I didn't know who was Les Brown was there. I didn't know Bob Proctor was there. Next thing you know, Les Brown goes up. Then I get called up. I said, okay, well, I'm going to speak after Les Brown. So I did for 5 minutes. I got back down. I got a standing ovation. And then Bob Proctor went up and he looked at me. He says, Robert, where are you? Get over here. He goes, I don't like getting up on stage after a good speaker. So he basically called me an icon that day. And I said, wow, this is amazing. I said, for someone of your caliber to sit there and put me on the icon stage where you're at, the same level, that's humbling. So I didn't brag about it or anything. I don't brag about the things I do. I let other people give me the credibility.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like that's such a meaningful way to do it, because it's not your ego that's driving it. Your intention is to help other people, and as a result of that intention and those actions, that's when you're getting this recognition. And to me, that's just a beautiful way to exist in the world and continue to help other people.
One's true self is, I'm going to be honest with you, one's true self is if you can actually do for others without anybody knowing, and never brag about it, and never talk about it. If you could do something for someone else that will bring them to the top or bring them to that next level, or even excitement, maybe they're depressed for a week, and just leave a little note in there. Hey, if I'm at a gas station, if I have $100 on me, I'll write a little note. I'll just get up and I'll walk by and I'll just give it to that person. I could tell they're struggling or something. Just certain times you can tell certain things, right? Maybe they're talking about it, or maybe they're just, you can tell they're depressed. I know how to read people really well, so it's really good that way. I can't say all the time I'm perfect. But I do try. So I'll hand them an envelope and I'll just walk away, and they'll never see me again. I'll never tell another soul either about it, but you know what? It made their day. Sometimes even saying hi and smiling at someone, you wouldn't believe how much that makes a person's day.
Yes. Yes, it's so true. I've seen that in the grocery store, especially with senior citizens. I'll look at someone and smile, and I can see it takes a second for them to register that I'm smiling at them, because I think that sometimes people feel invisible, like what you were talking about. When you're at the mall and sitting in the food court, and you feel invisible. So it's sort of that moment of, oh, they're looking at me, and well, good for you. I think that's a beautiful thing for you to be doing, and also for you to be modeling for other people, because that's how things get better and how we help. That's community. That's how we help each other.
So one of the things I also want to say is the fact of too many people worry what other people think of them.
Yes.
If you knew how many times they actually thought of you, you wouldn't be worried about it. You wouldn't be worried about it at all. They're not really talking about you. They just happen to cross their mind at that point in time. And then, the thing is, if people are talking about you, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. If they're not talking about you, that's when I'd worry.
Yes. Yeah, it's so true. It's really, we can spend 500% more energy on our part thinking about them than they're thinking about us. So that's
it's crazy. It's crazy to see how people grow and create. Like I've worked with some people. They're millionaires now. They're doing well. But the thing is, if you look at here's the thing. I always work with people with their foundation, their structure, and the fact that their passion. That's the three main things I work with in a business. And I allow people to grow the proper way. Some people say, oh, it's not going fast enough. Well, you're not doing the work fast enough to make it happen if that's the case, because if you're just worried about the money and you're sitting there worrying about paying the next bill, guess where it's going to lead you? It's going to lead you in more bills. And I hate to be the one to tell you that. Focusing on something, listen to the words of the movie The Secret. If you're focusing on something, you're not getting nowhere. Napoleon Hill, chapter 2, if you look at the situation, it says there, if you go in, you sit there and say, okay, I want $1 million by this date. It doesn't say you're going to receive it by saying it every day. It says basically what's going to happen is, what do you have to give up to make it happen? So what are you going to do? What's a prerequisite that's going to happen to make that happen? It'll happen if you start making it happen.
Yes, you're so right. It's funny that you mentioned that book, because I listen to that on audio all the time while I'm doing my work. If I'm packing orders and things, I'm always listening to that book.
They're all good friends of mine personally. We're all good friends of mine.
Yes,
Mr. Green, Satish, all of them. They're all good friends of mine, you know.
Wow, you're surrounding yourself, just like you were saying, look at who you're surrounding yourself with, and look at who you're surrounding yourself with is amazing. And well, I know that we're coming to the end of our time, and this has flown by. I have just enjoyed this conversation so much. And but before we go, I would love for you to tell people how they can find you, how can they connect with you.
There's my website that you can get the bonus. There's an actual bonus in there. It actually helps you with a 7-day AI intervention. Come on now, that's huge. Yes. Here's the thing. Anybody wants to get a hold of me, Robert J. Moore, Google it, or go on Facebook, go on LinkedIn, Next Level Coaching, Inc.com. You can find me there. I have so much going on that it won't be missed. I actually have a course coming out for $97. It's brand new. I just decided to do it the other day. For $97, I'm allowing people to come in and do an 8-week course with me. But here's the fun part of it all. As soon as it hits 10, I'm going to pick one of those 10 people to coach for 6 months for free. And I'm going to make them a success story.
Wow, lucky person.
It could be anybody.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, maybe it'll be me. You never know.
You never know. What I'll do is I'll post in here the information on how to get involved with that.
Okay. Yes.
It's actually on my Facebook too, if anybody wants, but I'll post it in here in a matter of seconds here.
All right. Super. Thank you so much. This has been so inspiring. You have an amazing story that you've had, but also that you continue to build. So I hope that people come away truly inspired by this. Thank you so much. So it's funny. Again, at the end of every show, I share a quote about persistence that I select before the show. And inevitably, it fits so beautifully with what we have discussed. And so today's quote is from Brian Tracy, who said, "Persistence is self-discipline in action." And I think that Robert's story and what he shared with us is a perfect exemplar of that. So persistence is self-discipline in action. May we all live that. You can find me at ringthing.com. I would love to hear from you anytime with any ideas about guests, any feedback, any questions. You can reach me through my website. And then also my email address is kimberly@ringthing.com. And the Persistence Payoff Show is here on USA Global TV and Radio every other Tuesday, live at 12 p.m. Pacific. And you can watch us anytime after that on YouTube. And I would just like to thank USA Global TV and Radio and Dr. Jacqueline Kerbick for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
USA Global TV and Radio, home of the YouTube Silver Creator Award, proudly presents Just the Thing for Your Ring, introducing the patented Ring Thing. Your premium personal ring holder to keep your ring safe, nearby, and avoid loss.
The Ring Thing just got smarter. Add your logo and an NFC tag that opens to your website with one tap. Waterproof, inner padding, and now a forever business card.
Just the thing for your ring. Scan the QR code seen here to learn more about RingThing or place your order. Follow RingThing on Instagram at ring_thing_ or go to our website ringthing.com.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honored to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA-Global-TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dyes. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.